Hey, guys, it's your favorite coach, Coach Tamika James. I am here today interviewing this amazing woman. She's going to tell you all about herself because I like to let my guests introduce themselves because I feel like they have a better shot at making sure the world gets to know exactly what they want to know about themselves and their businesses. So I'm going to welcome Miss Michelle Harden. Thank you for coming.
Thank
All
you for
right.
having me. Let me just say first, thank you so much for inviting me to be on your platform, your podcast. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And so thank you for having me.
Thank you so much again. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
Tell the people who you are and what you do, why you even exist. All right, let's go.
That's a great question. I love to define that. Of course, I am a spiritual being by definition of Jeremiah 1:5 that said, before we were formed in our mother's womb, that was a God idea about us. So I believe I was sent here to help people birth their purpose. So they call me the brand master. They call me the person who helped them to birth their dreams and to help them to carry out whatever vision they have. So it doesn't matter what industry they may be in, but my joy is seeing people that have an idea, they need to know how the steps to get it done, and then seeing that baby be born, seeing their reality or their dream come into reality. So when people ask you who I am a netfluencer. I too, like yourself, love seeing people connect, love seeing people come together for the better good of what we can do together. And so that's been one of the passions of helping even women here in our local city, called the Gathering of First Ladies, gathering these First Ladies together, taking them to the Washington, D.C., to be at the White House, to have that experience, bringing them together in hopes that they would seek a bigger purpose than just sitting on the front row and wearing hats. And they did. And so I've also worked with entrepreneurs, people who wanted to write a book and to discover that business or that vision that they had. My book is entitled called Whatever You Do, Brand You. So it doesn't matter what you do. It's all about branding yourself and letting people know who you are. Who are you? What do you do? And why should they care?
Mhm. I'm super excited about interviewing you because, as you said, we are both on the same path.
Yes,
And I know there are some people who they're like, I don't want to have people on my platform that are doing what I'm doing. No, I don't
exactly.
feel that way. I feel like
Exactly.
we all have to come together, push each other up. And honestly, when we're doing the same thing, we can connect and
Yes.
we can go a lot further. Like, so I'm glad to have you here today. Let's just say that, okay?
Thank
All
you for
right.
having me.
So let's start talking about some of the actual things that you're into right
Mhm.
now. Tell us the specific business that you're in. What are you doing? Where does the money come from?
Yes, that's a great, great place to really have this conversation. Last year during the pandemic, I did a film festival, went back to school as a non-traditional student to get my degree, my bachelor's as well as my master's. And I studied cinematography, so film, how to create stories, documentaries. So always fallen in love with what people do and the backdrop behind what they do. It's always a story behind that. So in doing so, I wanted to create this way. They were saying that you can't go to the movies anymore. You can't do some of the things that we love doing. So how do we create this unity of getting people to share their stories digitally in that field? So started a film festival last year. And from that, it was birth. My own platform. I've always wanted to be on Netflix, put my film on Netflix. And of course, great disappointments come with that because everybody wants the same thing. And there's so many people competing for the same space. So I believe, Tamika, that when something doesn't exist, you must create it. So having that
Yes,
desire,
yes, say it again. I love that. That's what I do. Oh
when
my
it
gosh.
does not exist, you must create it. And that is exactly what I did. Actually, a platform sought me out because they saw what I was doing with the film festival, pushing through this pandemic, and they wanted to help me to do it. So they came and offered me my very own platform. So I have a network that's called KingCast. So King Cast is on all the digital platforms from Apple to Fire, which is Amazon. It's on Google. It's on our web app, mobile app. And then we also have the podcast platforms that you will be on iHeart Radio, iTunes, TuneIn, all of the majors. Just let me say that, all of the majors. So when that was placed in my lap, I then said, you know what? How can I help, again, Tamika, this is what we do, help other people. How can I help other people to create their own networks on our network? So that's exactly what we created, an opportunity for them to go occupy 21, go occupy this digital space. And so we have other networks who have put their content on our platform, but not just that, they're able to monetize. How can we help other people earn income while we're earning income? And that's to help them monetize. So that is what brings in the money, helping and coaching people to their better place of creating their content in digital space and making it available globally. So that's what we do here at KingCast Entertainment Network.
KingCast Entertainment Network.
Yes.
I love how that sounds. So, all right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of how people actually get on board with you. Like,
Yeah.
how do they get on, and what do they need to do? And then tell us how it really works on the back end.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way that it works is when someone who has created content, and right now we know most of the popular places that have that we basically create our content is on social media, YouTube, Facebook, and IG being some of the popular ones, and even adding to TikTok. But when
what kind of content are you speaking of?
Great, that's a great question. So we look for a kingdom-centric content. So it doesn't have to be churchy, it just has to have to be positive. So it can be from motivation, it can be from fitness, health and wellness, from comedy, anything that you have to make someone's life better. So of course we don't do the nudity and the profanity, that wouldn't work on our platform, but anything that's promoting what we believe is helping people to advance in their lives to be better. So it could be teaching, it could be entertainment, any range of those things. You creating that content in what we understand to be great quality from, the type of, it doesn't have to be, with the big cameras. These days, you can shoot something very great with your iPhone, right? iPhone, great lighting, and a good microphone. I mean, it's unlimited, possibilities of what you're able to do. So it just has to be great content and also good quality as well. So that's what we're looking for, any type of digital content that's positive.
So how do people know that they're creating the right type of content that you want to put on your platform? Like, are there any parameters that people need to hear about?
I think one of the I would say caveats to this is my background is branding and marketing. Mm-hmm. So when I have someone on board with me, I normally send them a questionnaire to determine what content they have. What is it that you will be talking about? Do you have experience in it? Do you have any testimonials, any track record? And then show me some of the digital things that you've done. Maybe it's a YouTube clip, or it's any type of video clip that shows your experience in what you're doing. And so if there are some gaps, then I have the ability to come in and train and mentor them to get them to where, they want to be, showcasing their information on our platform. But sometimes I found that during the pandemic, people have done their research, Tamika. They have been on YouTube University and they have figured this out. So literally what they're doing is just sending me an MP4. They're uploading that 30-minute show. They're uploading, their content to me, and the only thing we have to do is send it to our developers, and then it's on the network. So either or, if you're just beginning and it's something you desire to do, we can coach and mentor you to that process. Or if it's something you already have ready, it's no limits.
So I love how you say that you coach and mentor people through it, so that you're basically not just accepting any old content.
Yes.
And you're also aiming to make them look the best that they can. And you also want them to stay on brand. And I think
Yes.
that's really important because some people are not really paying attention to that. I think that people are
Yeah.
losing that because they're just aiming to get business. They want to
Yes.
be seen so much that they lose sight of the branding.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Branding is everything. Branding is everything. That's the book. Whatever you do, brand you. But you want to do it with some knowledge of knowing who your avatar is, who you're reaching, and being able to have that communication with them in the way that they understand it, in the way that they can receive it. And everything that we know is visual. Is what we see. We see and we think and we hear with our eyes first before we even hear with our ears. And that's interesting to be said, because how are we grasping people? If they see you have a crazy background, or you have your hair is all over your head, then they're going to tune out. They're not going to take you seriously. But if they see you come across professionally and articulate, and then they're going to listen. And then if you have substance, if you have content to share, then they're going to want to hear more from you.
All right. Sounds like you just went into teaching mode just now. Thank you so much.
That's easy. That's easy.
Yeah, because as you know, this podcast is all about sharing information and really
Yeah.
giving the meat and potatoes out to entrepreneurs who may be interested in doing this particular thing. So basically, I have two questions. I want to know, do you work with, do you find that there are a lot of people who want to do exactly what you're doing? They want to be you. They want to be the person that has the network to bring other people on. Do you find people that want to do that, or do you only find people that are looking to be on a network?
I find people who want to be on a network because they don't want to necessarily know the IT and all the back end. We see the beauty of a network, but we don't know the infrastructure or what actually goes behind keeping that, what staffing is needed. So I haven't come across anybody who want to do the exact thing other than just have their brand on their network. And it's easy for them to do on our platform. So they don't have to go out and build it. They can put it on our platform. But of course, if it's something they're wanting to do, that's easily done as well through a referral. But the people who I work with are people who have been in the industry. They have content. And they're like, I just need a global audience. I just need somebody to hear. One of the things that's beneficial to what we do too, and I think this is a good place to segue, is that we didn't just start this. Even though this network just launched, we have been in branding and marketing for over 20 years. So the loyal subscriber base, the people who follow us, our faith-based audience, we have built a rapport and we built a reputation with them that they hear what we say. So when we put out something, those people are already put in place. So before we even started the network, we've done from e-blasting to events to, just social gatherings where the trusted name of Kingdom View is out there. And I'm proud to say that the trusted name is there. And so when people come on our network, they not only get their warm market, but they also get the cold market of people who have never met them before.
I don't even have to ask any questions here because that was what I was going to ask you. Like, what is it that people need to do to actually build their audience?
Yeah.
So if you can even expand upon some other things that they could actually do, because you just basically said it. They want to have people to watch them, but they don't have the audience to start with. So before they develop this show or this thing that they're going to build out, what are some key things that they have to do on the outside that you really want to see before they walk in?
Oh yeah, yeah. So from the beginning, knowing what your brand is, and I'll just take it from the beginning, knowing what your brand is and what the name of your brand is, what are your colors, what is your logo. That's basically the look of your brand, right? You've established that. But then when you're trying to build an audience, people have to know, what you do. So that message has to be clear. And I'm learning, even people in my generation, we've done so much. We've tapped into a lot of different things. So narrowing that down and say, this is who I am, this is what I do, is probably one of the most critical things we ever can do. Because when people see us doing everything, it's kind of hard for them to believe or to connect with us in that vein. And this is a case in point. I received a call earlier this week. And I'm just so grateful to your coaching, on our mentorship group. I'm so grateful for that
Oh.
because I was able to put together a questionnaire to me. God, I've always dealt with people on the phone. Okay, what you want? And let them take me 2 hours telling me what they want. But I've been able to create this questionnaire. From this, they were referred by somebody who heard about me, who knew me from Houston, but they're in North Carolina, right? So then I was able to engage with this person and say, okay, what is it that you do? Who is your audience? What have you done currently that will help me continue to build you in that area? So I think one of the fundamental things, if you've never done any type of podcasting or content creation or just putting out there who you are, is to start with your warm market. Start with your family and friends. Practice on them, and if you get your family and friends in, then you basically have a great start. My first start in writing my book was to do a book signing. I did a public book signing. And with that, I invited my family and friends, and I convinced all of them to buy my book. My sister-in-law say, look, took me 7 minutes to read it in the tub. She's an avid reader though, but she really enjoyed it. And I am exaggerating 7 minutes. But to say that it was a book that was for self-help, but it was a book that I really wanted to get the positive feedback. So when you build in the audience, I think it's important to start with the people who know you. And then do questionnaires, do surveys, ask them, if I was to come out with this particular idea, what would interest you in what I've had to say? What do you think? And I've had to ask that as well. Being a veteran in this field, sometimes we take what we do for granted and we forget some of the positive things that we've done to help other people. So I would ask that question. I'm rebranding myself. What is it that I can do to help you? Or what is it that you need or that you think that I have that I can give, to others to benefit them? So probably a long answer, but that's basically what I would share with people, is just starting with your warm market, people who know you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. The warm market is like so important because it's like the comfort zone. So
yes,
when you're in that comfort zone, you can do a lot of things, and then you have to actually get your stuff together so you can talk to other people. So it's like your practice zone as well.
Right.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that. So now, so with your network, right?
Mm-hmm.
When someone actually wants to get started, do you give them any parameters like, you should set up 10 segments or 3 segments, or and then let's talk about the money in this. Like, how do they have to pay? All right, so tell me about the first part of the question.
Okay, so let's see, I'll make it simple for you. There's 2 dynamics to what we do. We have the 24/7 platform, and we also have the podcast, and then the monetization. So they have 3 areas that they can engage with us. So let's just take the 24/7, where they have an episode, and I'll use one of episodes. It's called Satisfied Wives. They're out of Detroit, and they have 12 episodes that they are prepared to submit to us. So those are 28/30. So what that means, 28 minutes, so that they can include commercials inside of their presentation. So
commercials, their own or someone else's?
Whatever they choose. They purchase the spot. So that's how you make your money back. I tell you, it's a win-win. We got to make this a win-win for everybody.
Wait a minute. So you're saying that they sign on with you, they create their segments, and then you talk to them about having little segments in there where they could actually get someone to pay them for
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And to me, because that is your money. We don't want to have anything basically to do, with people monetizing their own opportunities. And our cost is very comparative to the market that's out there. If you have a 30-minute slot for a month, it's $300. On those digital platforms, just the television, if you want to do television and podcast, it's $500 a month. So it's very affordable to what they're able to do if you break it down, or if you get sponsors, you can have a weekly show, right? You can come on every Tuesday, same time, or you can have a daily show. It's totally up to you. And so with the daily shows, of course, that rate is slightly different, and we'll give you a quote on that. But just in general, what we found is people just want to come in and have a 28/30. And what happens is attention span. How long can I keep somebody in front of a a desktop or in front of their mobile device, right? I got to have something really engaging. And what we found is even with Satisfied Wives, their content is so edgy. Their content, that conversation, you're like sitting there and then before you know it, it's over because they just offered you enough to bring you back next week for more. And so that's what the market is doing. That's what all the sitcoms are doing. Is just engaging you just enough, not unless you're watching the Oval and you're sitting there like 60 minutes, you're like, oh my God, I want more, I want more. So those are those creative writers when you get to that point. But it's so much we can do. We can do pay-per-views. We also, if you have a special event and you want to broadcast it to the world, we have a pay-per-view scenario as well. So those are basically the basic parameters, how people come and engage with us. They secure their spot and they have opportunities to submit digital content with commercials.
Okay, so when you talk about pay-per-view, who are they paying? So there's a new viewer. Mm-hmm. Who are they paying for pay-per-view?
So Tamika, let's say you're having that expo, right? You're doing expo and on stage you have your panels, they're talking about the hair extensions, your brand, right? And so that's something that can be broadcast. Everybody can't make it to the expo, but you can make it available for them to have a link to join across the world. You may charge $99 or $29, $39, whatever you charge for that. So that's the amount that the individual pays to have access to your event. So that is negotiated between the client and our network as to what that profit shares would be. But that's basically giving people access. People in Cape Town, we've had people in Cape Town in Africa to sign on and to subscribe to our network. We probably would never ever meet them, but guess what? They have access to our platform to see our digital content.
So when you're using the word network, does that mean that you host several individuals and there's a common place that people come to and they get to see all of these different people?
So in essence, yes. So if you go to kingcast.tv, you can go on your browser or you can go on your mobile app. You will see a list of networks. Okay,
that's what I'm asking.
Coach Tamika's network, right?
Yeah. So you provide a place for people to be seen. Absolutely. So you already have an audience.
Yes.
So your audience, I'm sure that they just tune in to your network and they scroll down to see what's new. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So again, you have the 24/7 version where that's free. They could see the content. That's content you're giving away. And there's a paid monetized section where if I want to go get the nuts and the bolts of what Coach Tamika is teaching, then I can go to that particular network and I can subscribe to that network.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you've been in this business for how long?
Oh my God. So for doing interviews and doing events and things like that, marketing, 20 years. The network has just been birthed last year in October during the pandemic. We had our online internet radio station for over 7 years. So now that has been brought to KingCast. It's called KVRN, Global Radio Network. So that has been incorporated into this platform. So kind of been in the game a long time. Met a lot of people, have done quite a few things, but every day is a learning experience. Things are changing. So I feel like that I constantly evolve with this brand and constantly evolve with, with the people that I grow and that I'm able to meet.
Okay. Now, speaking of you constantly growing and evolving,
yes.
Can you talk about the total opposite of that? So I'm going to ask you to tell us a bedtime story. Okay. And that basically means I want you to tell us about one of your woes, like in this space. Where did you really mess up? Oh, and you wish that you would have done things different. Where was the mess up? I don't want you to hang out in that space too long, but tell us just for a minute something that people need to hear to kind of stay away from, whatever that is.
Yeah, so once upon a time, I would basically start without doing any shade. I think one of the things that I probably wish I would have done differently is really stood true in knowing basically who I was and what I had the ability to do. It took a while for me to come into owning my own. I did it for everybody else. Most of my events, most of my services was always pushing other people, and that's what I'm good at. But in that, I had a great responsibility in getting, people to their destinations, right? I was that navigator. I was that catalyst. I was that connector, and I never owned it. I shied away from it, in the pretense of, being humble, being very, I wouldn't call it shy, but just staying in the background. And I think when you are the expert, no one is going to validate you greater than you can validate yourself. My husband is my biggest cheerleader. Let me tell you, if you meet him, you're going to meet me before you actually meet me. That's who he is. But in actuality, I need to be a cheerleader. I need to cheerlead for myself. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the greatest resentment, because in not doing so, I had a lot of people who took advantage of that. They took advantage of the access that I gave. They took advantage of me being a gatekeeper and then going around me and creating other things. I saw people growing things that their networks, and when I say networks, their groups, their influences, faster than I was growing, and I trained them. And so I had to have as Oprah would say, an aha moment and a conversation with myself. I don't blame anybody but Michelle Renee Harden, because I know who God has created me to be, and it was my time to stand up and to be it. And so that's what I'm proud of now, that I'm here. I'm the brand master. I'm not going anywhere.
You are the connector. You are truly
the brand master. And so I'm so grateful for having, that moment. But that biggest reflection is not owning who I've been created to be.
Oh, I love it. And that was so heartfelt when you said that. Yeah. I felt every bit of that. I felt like I was listening to a bedtime story for real.
Okay, good.
Yes. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, because I'm sure that's a space that a lot of people are in, and we have to break out of that so that we can develop and see our true greatness, and we can really show up in the world the way that we need to. I know you said that you thought that you should have a mentor.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody needs a mentor. And I think it goes back to what you said in the very beginning, coming out of the mindset of that people who are like brands, or that share the same niche area, that we should be shying away from. That's probably the biggest mistake we ever can do. Because number one, iron sharpens iron. And then number two, we always can build value from one another. So I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Yeah, that's a big mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are out here feeling like they have to do it alone, and feeling like they have such great competitors to the point that they just have to stay in their own space and find their own way. So how do you feel about like mentors and how do you feel about mentors?
How do I feel about mentors? I think mentors are a critical, vital part of our growth. And sometimes, we often make the mistake that, number one, we don't need a mentor. Number two, that we only need one mentor, right? I think our lives are so complex that we need multiple mentors. You may need a financial mentor or coach. You may need a health and wellness mentor or coach. You may need a spiritual mentor and coach. So you have to look at your life and see what areas that you definitely have gaps in and where you need to grow. But mentors are very critical. And I wish that early on I would have considered, even though I had people around me, I had more people around me pulling from me than I had people pouring into me. So, and that was back when I started in the very, very beginning. But now I have, coaches, I have mentors, I have spiritual advisors, I have financial teams. You learn from your mistakes that you need these type of people to help you get to the next level. So I think it's critical.
Yeah. Well, you make me excited about this membership that I just created.
Yes.
Which has those components. But I am not the only one that pours into the members because I know where I'm strong. So
Yes.
that's where I show up. But the parts where I'm not strong, I bring other people in. But you just made me excited about what I've built, the UBG membership, because it gives all of those things that you just said that people actually need. So thank you. And let me know that I'm on the right path over here. Okay? I know these entrepreneurs need so much. And it's really sad that a lot of people feel like they can just pull together a few dollars and start a bank account and then just get off and running with business. And that's not necessarily it. There's so much more that we actually need to be a well-rounded business person. So one of the things I actually want to jump over to is that I know that you've decided to niche down on the market that you're actually serving. So tell me about how you decided to niche down and what that's done for your business.
Wow. So it was through this mentorship program that I decided to join. And, you know, when you decide or when you know, you make honest observations about yourself. You know, sometimes you can say, oh, I got it going on. I have this person, I have, you know, this client. But to think long-term and to think sustainability, you have to do true assessments as to where you are right now today. To even see if you're going to last another 10, 15 years, right? So one of the things that I heard was it's important for you to know what you offer and to be able to genuinely connect with your clients to get them to that next place. I've always had a heart to help people, but Michelle has always had a heart to help everybody, right? So through this mentorship program, I've been able to narrow it down to say, like you just said, not that this is the only thing I'm good at, but this is the thing I'm very passionate about. You know, I'm passionate about that. Even if I didn't get paid doing it, I would be doing this right here. And so nailing that down keeps me from accepting calls from people who think, you know, I can do network marketing or that I could do, you know, this, I can do that, and I can do that. It narrows that down with me saying, that's not good for me right now. It's not in alignment with where I am. No has been the hardest word I've been able to learn. And learning that word through mentorship has saved me a lot of, you know, hours on the phone. You know, if it's not a good fit for me, let me refer you out without being fearful that I'm losing money. I'm not losing money. I'm gaining time so that I can spend time with, you know, someone else. So I'm excited about the principles that I've been able to apply in engaging with the clients, new clients that are coming on board. And I'm telling you, it's a sense of energy, if I can use that term, Tamika, when you begin to connect yourself with positive people and mentors and people who are not threatened by your brand or who you are, it's a sense of energy, of freedom, right? So what I'm experiencing is that I'm walking into this new place, but I can tell you people are calling me that I've never met before. Referrals are coming that I've never experienced before. Ideas, Tamika, are being resurrected from the dust and from the dirt. Did I not tell you that I am a filmmaker and I wrote for my practicum my husband's story called Exit to Freedom? In brief, my husband, he found out underneath the hood of a car at the age of 18 that the man who raised him was not his father. Whoa. Found out that this is not his biological father. So of course, 18 years old, he gets mad, go in the house and decides he no longer wanted to stay with that family. He wanted to go on a quest to find his biological father, right? He finds his father on a metro bus, engages with him, begins that they're going to start this life together. He moves in with his father, his biological father. He introduced him to crack cocaine. Instantly, he's addicted. He finds out he's number 2 out of 38 children. So I took this story and I created, and I'm getting chills telling it, a documentary, and I gave it to him for his 50th birthday. We had a theater, over 400 people who saw this film. So I pitched it to Tamika, to Netflix. I pitched it to different places, pitched it to different people, say, I can get it, I can get there. Nobody can get there. So I had to create my own platform. So it's on KingCast network. Guess what? On the movie channel.
And
So
this,
on June the
and
19th, June
yes,
19th, we are re-releasing Exit to Freedom. It's his freedom story. It's how, God took his life of being incarcerated over 6 different times, and now he is a serial entrepreneur. He loves talking to people. He's a conversational. He's the complete opposite of who I am. Believe it or not, I'm not really that. I'm really an introvert. I'm only doing this because it's you. No, I'm just saying. I love talking to people in this life, but just walking up, talking to a stranger, I probably wouldn't do that. That's him. And you can stone face him and tell him you're not interested. He will not be moved. That's who he is. So I did his life story. So it's on the platform as well. So I guess I answered the question. Hopefully I did. Yeah.
That felt like another bedtime story, but this is the story behind the brand.
Absolutely.
This is the story.
Yeah.
And what I love is that you so subtly interjected that story, but the story is the driving force behind what you're doing. Yeah. And I think what people really need to hear is that there will be a pivotal moment in time when you get something that shows you exactly what you need to be doing. And I think a lot of us don't know when none of us know when that moment is going to happen. We're fighting so much to figure out our path. What should I be doing? Where should I be? And then boom, one day something happens, a story develops, and you look at it and you create something based upon that. And then you also saw that there was no one that was opening the door for you.
Yes.
You created your own door. And I love that story because that is like so powerful, and it's empowering so many people. I'm sure it has empowered so many people. And I hope that it's doing the same thing right now, because that's how I felt. I felt very empowered. Like, okay, I can do anything.
Yes, absolutely.
That I want to do, especially when the door isn't open for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, we're snipers, remember?
Yes. That's right. We sure are. So I'll tell you this. I really have enjoyed this interview, and I feel like we're like these sisters that just got connected. And if we would have met probably years ago, we probably would have locked arms and done so many things together, because I feel the synergy here. Like everything that you were talking about, these are things that so many of us feel, but until we actually something happens that we meet, we don't know these other people exist. And I'm glad that I just got a chance to know you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel
so
like
much.
6 degrees of separation right now. That's what I feel. Yeah, definitely. So you actually have some other things that people should know about. Like, what are some of the things that you have going on that those who are listening right now really need to be connected with you on? So just share with us. I just want to give you the floor to let people know what you have going on and why they should connect to you on a different level.
So recently, with being known as the brand master, you have a lot of people to ask you questions about different things: how to write a book, how to start a business, how to do LLCs, business formation, nonprofits. And so, instead of getting entangled and into a whirlwind, I created this Mentor Me Monday meetups. So these mastermind opportunities are for those individuals that have those simple questions that they just need to know how to it, the DIY, how to do it myself, do it yourself. It's that type of environment that I'll answer those questions. And so those individuals can begin to just take the nuggets and take the things that they're learning and go do life, go write the book. How did I write my book in 45 days? How did I get it published, self-published initially, and then working on another book that actually got picked up from a publisher? How do you go on these journeys of, just reinventing, yourself, evolving and using, repurposing content? How do you engage with the audience? So it's anything you want to know about branding, how to get something started, get it going, get it done. Those are my 3 C's: get it started, get it going, get it done. I'm all about getting it done. Where's the results? You said you're going to write that book 2 years ago. So that is like being pregnant, 2 years.
Yeah.
Your baby is a toddler on the inside of
On
you.
the inside, yes.
You know? So inside of you playing basketball, having fun. It's time to birth it out. And so my shirt, I don't know if you can see my shirt, but it's called Shut Up and Push.
Wow.
Shut up. Stop talking about it. Stop complaining about it, that nobody won't put you in the pool. Nobody will bring you forth. Stop using excuses and learn and come to the forefront and learn. So that's why I created that particular platform. Mentor Me Mondays, mastermind, motivation, whatever you want to call it, the tail end of it. But it's a time to gather with me, and people can connect with me on Ask the Brandmaster. AskTheBrandmaster.com. Just go to that site. You can register, and on Monday mornings, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, I'll be there to answer those questions and to help people get started.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when they sign up for this membership, right? Don't they get something? What do they get?
They do. They get a free copy of my ebook called Whatever You Do Brand You. It's my latest official single solo project that I've done. I've been a co-writer and a co-producer of different things, but this is a project, a book that I did on my own. I'm actually working on my second project this year to be released in December. So it's a joint venture that I'm doing with my husband. And so I'm excited about that, but you will get a free ebook of all of the chapters. And one thing that I love about this book is once you read it, you really don't need me, because I tell you every single thing you need to do.
What?
From Secretary of State to all of it. If you want to do it yourself, is that type of book. I don't hide anything from you, but I give you everything you need in order to brand yourself.
Oh, I love it. So they join, and then they get this, and they get something that they can sit down and just, mull over.
Yes.
And then they also get you in the membership. I think that's amazing.
Yes.
So
yes.
yeah, I feel like you didn't leave anything out. Like, you're really being very supportive to the community. So please keep up the great work. And I want to just give you the floor right now to either share something that you think someone needs to know, or to tell us anything about yourself that we missed today. Because when people are being interviewed, one thing that I know is that sometimes the interviewer, they don't really let you get to where you want to go. So I just want to give you the opportunity, whichever direction you want to go in, like, feel free, say whatever you want to say.
Oh, awesome. Well, let me just say, you've been a great interviewer today. I feel like, I've just been able to be myself and my best self, and no pretense. So I feel very grateful for that. And thank you so much for having this interview. But my heart is inspiring people. I remember setting up a program in the prison with some prison women, and it was called Fresh Start. And one of the things I know about women who are incarcerated, the government or the system want them to come out and work in Jack in the Box and Burger King and those places to begin a life again. Well, my thought process, nobody can take your purpose or your dreams or your vision from you. So whatever you dream about leads you into the life of an entrepreneur. So I went in and did a 6-month program in the Fresh Start program, and we had women, about 175 women who entered the program. And because of the exodus, about maybe 100 of them graduated from the program. But here's what they took away. They took away their business plan, their identity, that when they exit those walls, they was able to take that information to go start a business, to know the name of the business, the color of the business, the logo, the business structure of the business, whether it was a nonprofit or for-profit. They knew the business description. They knew who their competitors would be. They knew about how much money it would take them to get it done. My only regret is that I was not at a place to say, contact me, I'll help you fund it. Right? So we move into a place where we absolutely need to monetize what we have in order to be the philanthropist, to be the answer that the world needs, to be the complete answer. So I was able to give a 50% in investment into their lives, but I believe that we're all called to do something great, and we have to eliminate all excuses why we can't do it. Why we just look to, the big celebrities to do great things. When I think really the secret sauce to that is that they just took the limits off, and they just put great people around them, and they share what they did. So one thing I would say in closing, don't give up on yourself. Don't quit on you. I don't know what game it is at the casinos, but when you bet all the money, you put it all in, put all the chips in on you. I mean, because you're going to win, you're going to be successful, you're going to be great at what you do. If you believe you can, you will. But if you doubt for 1 minute, of who you've been called to be, then you're gonna find that process slowly just drifting away from you. And final thought, Tamika, and I'm just really my final thought is, don't wait for anybody to validate who you are. There's a story in the good book where it talks about this man sitting by the pool, and he was sitting by the pool, Tamika, 38 years. He sat by the pool 38 years waiting for somebody else to put him in the water. And so I want to tell you, don't wait for nobody else to give you permission, authority, or anything else to say you're the one to do what you've been called to do. Just do it. I mean, Nike wrote it best, just do it. People are waiting on you, and you're the best answer to their problem and solution. So that's my final words. Thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to see all of your, podcasts and how you develop and how this goes even further for you and what your heart's desire to do. So thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So KingCast TV, can you tell us why someone would want to connect with you guys opposed to just trying to go out there and do this thing on their own?
Awesome. So you know what? This is a do-it-yourself industry. So much has been given to us on platforms that we could just really do it ourselves, right? But I believe what KingCast has to offer is that we have people. We got people. We've built a database over 85,000 for the last 20 years of people that we've had loyal subscriber base in the faith-based industries, from pastors, first ladies, entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, and just general people who have followed us. So when you come to us, we already have people who are looking for you. If you have a message that will grab them, that will provoke them to change or to engage with you, we have those people that are looking for great quality content. So you not only have your warm market, you do have your cold market as well, which that's what we bring to the table.
Now, I remember you telling me something about how you guys can connect onto other like apps and things like that. Like,
yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what people get as far, where can you put them? Where can you let them be seen?
Yes. So KingCast has homes on the digital platform. Through all of the transformation of the pandemic and COVID and all of that, the digital space, as Nielsen has reported, which Nielsen is the Bible of where digital content is accurate and recorded, right? So Nielsen says that the digital space is going to grow by the trillions. That's where they're going to get their information from, their devices, their cell phones, their tablets, their iPhones, their desktops. So with that being in mind, we have to go to the digital space, which means they're no longer in front of the TV, right? It's wherever they go. You see them at dinner, they have that device in their hand. So you can be found coming onto the KingCast network on Roku, on Apple TV, on Fire TV, which is part of Amazon. We have Google, and also we have our own personal web app, which is kingcast.tv, which anybody go to any browser or the mobile app, they can pull up your content right on our digital network. So being present where people can find you and people can see you is important. So that's on the TV side. On the audio side, when you look at podcasting, we're with the majors. We're with iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spotify. So those are platforms. And again, we also have our mobile app for our podcasting. So you don't have to go to each one of those little places, fill out an application, put in that fee or whatever. We've already done that part for you. We've already done the due diligence and the licensing that comes behind it, the royalties and things that come behind that. Our company is already set up to take care of that for those subscribers. So I think that's the reason why KingCast will be the choice.
Whoa. All I have to say is whoa. You guys have covered everything. You've crossed the T's and dotted the I's. You've created the connections to the other platforms, some that people didn't even think about that were important. And when you just spoke about the fact that people are walking around, and you broke down how Nielsen is stating that, there's a certain amount of people who are actually going to only be looking at their phones and their tablets and these other specific devices. That's really key information for us to really know where we need to be.
I don't know if you're old enough for the black and white TVs, or I'm not old enough for
Yeah, I am, unfortunately.
Okay, and then there is also the era of just the local television, right? That's antiquated. So TV as we know it is going to be joining that antiquated, unfortunate digital, space, because digital content and the availability and how fast it's growing and the demand for it is definitely it's here to stay. The pandemic made it speed up, but my personal belief is that it's only going to get better in the digital space. So why not join them?
Yeah, you said a lot. And unfortunately, yes, I do remember the TVs that had the knobs that turned.
Me too.
I remember when we only had 13 stations or something like that. Yeah. And I remember when TV went off too. So
okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you remember the Man on the Moon and the flag was playing and then they were singing? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I remember it.
This is for real.
So some of our viewers or listeners may not remember any of this stuff that we're talking about, but we look great for being a part of that era. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So I just want to say thank you again, because I mean, what you are offering, what you have developed, and the way that you're able to help so many people, I think this is just amazing. I can't say anything else. So I thank you for being here today. I thank you for being you. I thank you for creating this space. I thank you for sharing your information today. And I know that someone who is listening today is going to be in a space where they're not going to get themselves in trouble. They're not going to waste time. They're going to be able to go straight to you and be seen, because that's what it's all about. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode of Entrepreneurs Speak with Coach Tamika James. See you next time. Want to be connected to entrepreneurs on a weekly basis? Join Underground Biz Group membership.